So Michelle, now you are the host. I think you are good to go.
Okay. Share my screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Let me see screen now. Hello everyone, this is another our live webinar, and today's webinar we wanted to share with you how you can personalize your chatbot messages based on the user personality traits inferred by your chatbot. And again, you can do all this without code and without any additional IT resources. And many of you probably have heard about this particular quote. So about 2,000 years ago, Cicero says that if you wish to persuade me, you must think my thoughts, feel my feelings, and speak my words. So if you wanted to use your chatbot to persuade your audience to do something, or to take certain actions, or maybe to perform certain tasks, so the best way to do this one to better understand your audience, especially understand each person as a unique individual. So then you can better persuade them, use the language and use the motivations that they can best relate to. So this is actually but how did you know the people, right? So that's why we call it the personality matters. For some of you who understand Chinese, I use the kind of a very old saying of a Chinese, say this one. So which means this is literally translated is, if you meet a person, you should basically speak the language the person can understand. If you meet a ghost, you should speak the language the ghost can understand. So in generalization, which means that it is for different people, you wanted to use different messages, and you wanted to use different even communication styles, so that person can best relate to, can basically better understand that. So then what is personality? So how are you going to understand the people's personality, especially if somebody you don't know, the strangers, visitors on your website, or the people, the students who just get onboarded into your learning program. So first of all, I just want to say a little bit about the personality traits that mattered in communication. So one, it is thinking about it, if you are a person, you like to do something, it's called passions and interests. If somebody will tell you to do something which is related to your passions and interests, it's most likely you are more interested into doing that. Similarly, if you are good at doing something, if people acknowledge that you're great at doing something, your talents and your skills, you'll probably be very happy to hear about that. That's again, it's another way of to have a better communication with the person. If you knew what their skills, their talents, if you knew what their interests and passions and more, is also very important. It's about how people handle life's challenges. It's about people's social emotional intelligence. So for example, certain people really care about other people. But certain people are more self-empowered, and certain people are very open to challenges, and some people are much more conservative, much more cautious to challenges. So if you know that what people actually are accustomed to and what people are more afraid of, so then you can make your messages much more tailored and much more customized to that person's innate, we call the characteristics. So that's what the personality, why we could say personality matters. So in particular, I want to go a little bit deeper, because in my demo, I would show you, you can customize the messages based on the type of a personality traits our AI can help you derive from a conversation with the user. So one type of a personality, which is very well known, is known as Big Five personality. Actually, I put it down on the citations of those people who have documented what is Big Five personality and how they can influence people's behavior and influence people's actions in the real world. As you can see, Big Five is also known as the ocean personality, OCEAN. So openness is basically talking about whether how people actually open to different type of challenges, how people embrace different types of ideas, embrace different types of even religions, ethics, different types of people. Conscientious is talking about like each of this area has the underlying, which called the facets. For example, I listed just for conscientiousness has the 6 facets underneath of it. So for example, how self actually sufficient a person is called competence, how orderly a person is, how dutiful a person is, or how a person is very eager to achieve something. It's very energetic, it's very driven, it's very ambitious. And another one is self-discipline as well as cautiousness. As you can see, conscientiousness measures the different types of characteristics of an individual. That's also what Juji infers from a conversation with a person. Another thing is very interesting. It's about we call the career codes, also called Hanan Codes. As you can see, I also put on the citation here. So Hanan Codes actually characterize each person along 4 dimensions, big dimensions. Some people care about things, and this care about actually more physical attributes. We call the makers, right? Do it yourself, right? DIY people, and makers means use my hands to make something happen. And some people more care more about ideas. They're very creative, like artists, like innovators, inventors, right? And some people care more about people. So there are people we so often call the people person, right? So they like to work with people. They like to collaborate with people. Actually, like to help people as well. And then there's some people care more about the data. So then because it is, they are data driven, they are more kind of, they want to see the facts, right? So you can see, this is one, depending on where a person lies into this kind of 4 dimensions, and then they make them like a makers, organizers, entrepreneurs, helpers, creators, and thinkers, right? So again, Juji also automatically infers a person's Hanan codes based on the conversation with the user. Now, with those things, I will now go to the demo part of it to show you if you knew a person's Big Five personality, if you knew a person's Hanan codes, how can you customize that messages based on the personality inferred by Juji AI? And for example, today I'm going to use the examples in the learning space, which means that the student, let's say, who is in an online learning program trying to get a degree. And then the healthcare situation, let's say a person just had a surgery and is recovering from the surgery, right? How did you potentially help the person and stick to the treatment and stick to the recovering process so they can recover faster? And then the workplace, let's say a worker, a co-worker, or maybe an employee at the workplace, and they're under stress, right? For example, police officer, maybe a customer service representative. And how can you actually interact with them? How you can and make them stay on the job longer, basically retention, right? Also career development. So I'm going to use the examples in these 3 areas to show you how can you customize the messages to those different area and to different people. So now I'm going to actually switch to the demo. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to actually create an AI assistant from beginning. I'm going to use a blank template because this way we can actually we can actually add more information on top of that. As you can see, this blank template is very simple, only have a welcome message and a wrap my message. So I'm going to add some of the customization one. So let's go with the first one, it's a learning example. So let's say we want to create a learning companion for each student who is already enrolled in an online, let's say, degree program, like online MBA, online data science, or online criminal justice program. But every day we want this learning companion to check in on the student, to encourage the student to continue. Also, of course, you can help the student to answer certain questions and basically the encouragement, right? That kind of what I call it, building a relationship and make the student feel that somebody actually cares. So, and before we're doing that, I want to do a quick preview because this is my account. This AI already knew a lot about me already because I already have lots of data, right? So let me just share with you how your audience or yourself as a supervisor of the AI knew what this system knows about you. So I said is, how much do you know about me, for example? You see, this is what my personality traits for this account I'm having, okay? Because I have lots of words already for this particular account, so they can understand, they can infer my big 5 personality traits along those dimensions. As you can see, I talked about conscientiousness, right? There's a 6 dimensions underneath over here, right? Obviously, I'm self-disciplined in some way. It figures out. Then also talking about, for example, extroversion has another 6 facets called the friendliness, right? Which means it is how you work with other people. And gregariousness is about outgoing. Assertiveness, which means it is how confident, how self-assured you are. And activity level, how energetic a person it is. And also excitement thinking, which means it is a desire to have excitement experience and the emotional stimulation, and the cheerfulness, how normally happy you are, how positive you are, something like that. Okay, you can see this one. Then let's go to our next one. I was talking about the Hanan Codes. It's my career codes, right? Then I say this one, what's my career DNA? So it should tell me my career codes. I want to show you this one because this is actually when the AI is chatting with everyone, it will infer everyone's fingerprints, if you will, like this, right? As you can see here, it is, it infers that I am a helper, which means I like to work with people. If you remember my slides, right? On the Hanan Codes, I'm more like here, right? I care about the ideas and for the innovations, right? Curiosity. And also I like to work with people. I love the collaboration. I like group settings because otherwise I will feel very lonely. And I don't like that by working alone. So this is me, right? And my career codes is lie on those dimensions. So then you can see it's quite actually very accurate in this kind of things, right? So now let's see. If we wanted to, let's say I'm working on this one, I'm wanted to make this learning coordinator, right? Learning coordinator, I wanted to send the different messages to different students who have different personality characteristics, right? So for example, if the student is the innovator, right? So I would say this, I would probably tell this one, hey, because you are innovative, you may want to try different kind of innovative approaches to make you stay around with this program, right? That's maybe the message I want, because I wanted to make the message that can resonate well with the student. But if the student is explore, then I want to say this one, you might want to explore different approaches to help you to stay on track, right? For example, maybe work with a teacher, work with your classmates. So did you see? So the explore, which means they want to try different things, but the innovative people are more attracted to something new, innovative, right? So then let's say, so how can you do that? Easy. So let's see. One it is, I wanted to for explorers, right? So I just wanted to actually, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this. I want to create a message, just a message. So then I want to say this, send a message, right? So this is the one I want to make this label to say for explorers, right? This one, I want to say this one, I know you are very adventurous, right? You are adventurous. I have a list of ways that you can explore, and you can explore. So which list of maybe helping ways that you can explore and help you stay with the program, for example, right? This is explore one. So another one I want to show you is, let's say another message, it's innovators, right? So this is for innovators, okay? Innovators, they say, so since you love to experiment with new technologies, okay, we have, maybe just say we have AI, maybe say classmate that you may find interesting and helpful in your online study, right? So they say something very different, so very right. So in order to, for this one to the one, we have to make sure that this only triggers, will be only triggered if the person, it is an innovator, right? So we can just say it's innovative, it's innovative, right? I will put down here, save it. And similarly for the explore, we want to say it's explore. But before I put that on, I wanted to show you, if I don't put on the precondition here, what will happen, right? So let me see. If I do a preview, you will see. I know you're very adventurous, right? So this is the fire that you love experiment because I am an innovator. Remember, I showed you earlier, this one. So, but we don't want this one to be sent to the people who are not explorers. In this case, I am not. In this case, what happened here is I'm going to get it, right? I want to say is I want to add the function, say is explore. Say, okay? Which means it is, if you deploy this chatbot to engage with your audience, different people will get a different message, right? Because the explorer will get explorer's message. The innovator will get the innovator's message. So let's try again. Do you see that? So the explorer message didn't show up anymore, right? So that's the one you can see. So also there's a shortcut you could use. So a shortcut is here. So we actually made a shortcut for you. So if you use the personalized message, this is based on the Hanan code, okay? So this message will show that you can define different messages for different personas, which aligns. So for example, for the thinker, for people who really like investigate, right? So this kind of say the message is creative. Our world definitely needs more thinkers like you, right? So this is one, right? So, you know, remember, I'm a creator and a helper. Actually, my helper personality probably even higher than creator. So you will see, you can see this different types of messages, right? You will see the message. So let's see which one will be triggered for me. So let's see again, this one. See, you see, this one is triggered for me. You sound like a kind and caring person. Every team would appreciate a member like you. So let's see. Here, you will see which one is this one. It's a helper message. See, helper message. And none of these messages is triggered for me yet because my highest one is this one. See that? So you can reuse this one, right? So now let's just use, because we're here right now, let's use this to craft the messages for healthcare, right? So one of the things we have learned, the healthcare challenge, it's this readmission. So people have injury, people are treatment, but they don't actually adhere to it. It's called adherence problem. So then they will have to go back to the hospitals to do more treatments, right? So that's which is waste of the money, waste of the efforts as well. So in this case, assuming that now we position this one to be patient's helper, patient is recovering a companion, whatever you can say, right? In this case, I know that I'm a helper, right? So you can customize this message for the people like me. You say this one, you are a kind and caring person and love to help others, right? If you stay on your treatment, you will soon be on your feet again and help more people, right? So that's now you can actually customize the message in different domain, whatever you want, right? So you can see this will be different. You'll see. You see that? You can see this one, right? So then I can also, this message, I can also customize, say this, oh, since you love to experiment new technology, we have an AI, maybe companion, we can find interesting, helpful in your recovery process, right? You can customize all those messages to a different way. Similarly, we can use the same, because now I have this personality, I can change it. So other things will not fire, but you are most welcome to try it out yourself to see which one will fire for you, right? So in this case, it is, for example, in the workplace. In the workplace, people often under a lot of stress. Recently, I have read the article about how frontline workers who actually need to interact with others on a daily basis, like a police officers, like a customer service rep, like a retail workers, right? So in that case, they might be very frustrated. They might be quite sometimes depressed. In that case, it is how can you encourage them, right? In this case, they say, oh, you're a kind and a caring person and love to help others. But in this case, I change the message to say, let's say, for example, but sometimes you could also use sometimes you could also use help as well. Okay, you could use help as well. I would love to find mentors for you. Okay, and then in this case, right, to find the mentors for this case, I would say, then next one, I'll ask the question. You said, would you like to have that? In this case, I say, hear more about the mentor program in our company, right? So in this case, maybe just the general question, right? So then if you go out, you will see. See? So basically, you say something very relevant to that person, right? So because this is my account again, I couldn't actually make other option to fire, but you can do the same thing for the things, right? Say this one, you seem inquisitive and thoughtful, right? I would love to find a mentor for you who shares the same personality as you, and then you will enjoy, you will probably enjoy such conversations, right? So in this case, but I just typed this one, I just edited it, but it's not going to fire for me because I'm not the thinker, right? But I just want to show you here it is, you could really customize this based on the people's characteristics. So for the thinker like this, with a maker, for example, in this case, it is might be saying that one, you're very independent and resourceful, right? So we also have so we have a particular solution. So these people are motivated by this one, by making this one, and we say that your skills will be highly appreciated by your team. So I do have actually the projects that fit your actually talents, right? Would you like to hear more? This case, actually, you give people something they like to hear, they want to hear, and they will be attracted to. So that's the whole point, right? You can actually, this one again, maybe ask them to start a new project, ask them to take initiative for people like this. So movers and shakers basically is entrepreneur type, right? They're enterprising type. You can ask them to start a project, they get more ideas, they feel like they are empowered to do so. They're more likely to do, they're more likely to stay with the workforce. That's how you kind of motivate people with the motivations they actually have internally. So that's a whole point. So actually now you can see, customize this one with this one, it's very easy. And you could do a lot of things with it, right? So for example, I want to show you just last example, how you can even bake this one into your Q&A. So for example, again, this is going back to the either to the student or to the workforce scenario. Let's say if people want to say, can you help me find a mentor, right? In this case, you say, sure, I'll be happy to help you in this case. Okay, happy to help you. So this case, what you can do here is you go to this multi-turn, which is add a more complex one. In this case, it is you want to add something like I was showing you, right? Like a web media, for example. Oh, I'm sorry, not web media. Can I switch back? Can I switch back? Maybe we didn't have this one, so I don't want a web media. I want personal message media. Oh, this one, right? So this one, you can customize each of this one to tell them, I will find you a mentor. So because this is me, right? I'm going to just here just say this one. You are people person. You're a people person, right? And I would definitely find someone who has a similar personality as yours. Okay, this we say. So in this case, say, then I say preview. Now I say, could you help me? Say, a mentor for me. You see that? Okay, so you are a people person and like to find one who has a similar personality as yours. So you can see here it is for every Q&A, if you have the content that is tailored, can be tailored or is already tailored to different people with different unique characteristics, you can do that very easily, right? You can also use the same thing. You can use the same thing as I did earlier. Is the explorer, is the innovator, maybe is the thinker, is entrepreneur, right? You can use this precondition to couple this precondition with your tailored message so that different people will get a different message by communicating, by interacting with your chatbot. Okay, so I'm going to stop it there and see if you have any questions. Hello, is everybody still there?
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah. Hi, go ahead. Yeah, how come I couldn't
It's
see
Jim.
this? Where,
Yeah,
okay.
can you talk a little bit more about how the AI actually can infer your personality traits from the conversations? Maybe go a little deeper into that for people that haven't quite made that connection yet.
Oh, okay. So thank you for asking, Jim, this one. For those of you, especially some of the people I know are new hires of Juji, and you might not know. Yeah, really, thank you, Jim, for asking this question. So what happened here is when you are chatting with our AI, right? It actually dynamically analyzes the text you typed in, you submitted, right? And from your typed text, it tries to extract the evidence that are related to or can reveal your personality traits. The evidence could be as small as a punctuation mark, as big as the sentence, even the context of the sentence, right? And it could be your emoticon, could be the word, could be certain words you're using, right? So this line of the work, it's called computational psychology, right? And then let me actually stop share and let me just find my one of my slides I want to share with you, which means I think it's a great time for people to know how this one is not, it's a magic, but it's a science, it's a magic in the science part of it, right? So I wanted to actually share with you just one slide so you can understand what it is. Just give one slide. Just one slide. Submitted yesterday. Okay, I'm coming back with my share screen. Okay, so this is what Jim was asking about it, right? So this is called the computational psychology, which means it is instead of asking people to take a personality test, to take a psychometric test, like all we have done probably, which means it is to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, right? Oh, I'm very extrovert. I like to work with people, right? So instead of doing that very explicit way, we automatically identify the evidence inside your text and figure out how this evidence is related to, we call the latent traits, reveal that how the relationship, right? So in this case, it is, well, this is the item-based theory with big data analytics to infer the individualities of the one, right? So in this case, what we mean by that, it is because it's almost like really your AI can read between the lines from those plain text. It infers people's personality traits, as I showed you, the Hanan Codes, the big 5 personality, right? Of course, we also have functions to infer people's sentiments. So you can see, and then thanks to our engineering team here, and for example, I think Dan is in the audience here, you can see all these different types of sentiment changes, trends over time. So which means it is when you use the AI like ours, not only your AI can engage in a conversation, can actually deeply understand its user and users, right? You can have the individual a profile as well as the overall profile of your audience. For example, the students who you are managing in your online MBA program, your online, let's say, a coding program, or your online data science program, or your workforce. So that's one what I want to just get here. And Jim, did that answer your question?
That did. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is actually,
it is magic, isn't it?
It is magic, right? So we have also we publish a lot, and other people also published papers based on their experiments on our platform. So for example, this paper published by Sarah Volker and her colleagues from a university, I think it's Munich or somewhere in Germany, they found out that you can actually very hard for you to cheat on our AI chatbot. If you try to pretend to be someone else, you have a hard time to be pretending, because the AI can, through your text, can really identify the evidence, right? It's hard to hide this evidence. Okay, any other questions from the audience? It's a good time for you to ask questions. Ask your questions, right? And especially, I know with some colleagues here, they are hoping to even advance Juji further, right? Okay, I think we already went over the time. We're trying to keep it under 30 minutes. So I'm going to stop share, and hopefully you can come back next week and to see how you can do use Juji API to do use Juji API to actually integrate a Juji AI into your own application. Basically, you can almost like you can embed, adopt Juji chatbot into your own application. Could be mobile application, intranet application, and so on and so forth. Great. Thank you, everyone. Bye.